Alright, welcome to another part of my World Cup preview series. We've arrived at Group G, and now we're going to talk about one of the big favorites for the title first, Brazil. They've been world champion plenty of times. They're always one of the favorites, and this time is no different. Coming into this World Cup, they won the Confederations Cup 2009. They've won the South American Qualifying League, and they're always one of the best teams. They went out in 2006 in quarterfinal against France, surprisingly to most people. And of course, 2002 they won it. 1998 they lost in the final against France again. And then 1994 they won it. 1990 they lost against Argentina in the second round. Yeah, it's been they're always in the second round. And they usually get very far or get knocked out by a top team. I expect them to go far. They're in a tough group though, with Portugal and Ivory Coast and North Korea. North Korea not so much the strong team, unknown team, but Portugal is a dangerous European team, and Ivory Coast is on paper the best African team. But that might be good for Brazil. A bit of a challenge in the first round to get them into the tournament. But I really can't imagine, despite this being called the group of death, I really can't imagine Brazil not making it through. Looking at the team, I think perhaps something different is going on. They're coached, of course, by Dunga, who used to be a defensive midfielder. The main strength of the team, if you look at which players have made a huge impact this season at their clubs, you're talking about Julio Cesar at Internazionale, the goalkeeper. Maicon and Lucio play for the same team, Inter as well. Then you've got João, who plays for Roma. Yeah, they've been very important for their teams. There's Michel Bastos, Daniel Alves, who plays for Lyon and Barcelona, Luizão from Benfica. Great players. I mean, at the back, I think they have one of the best defenses on the tournament. And perhaps surprisingly, the offense, usually that's the best part. In the past with Pelé, Romario, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, always the best lineup. Now, something different. Robinho hasn't really become a world-class superstar. He's disappointed some people at Manchester City and at Real Madrid, but he's still a great player, of course. And there's Luis Fabiano, who plays for Sevilla. Not one of the best teams in Spain. I mean, not Barcelona, Real Madrid, or Valencia, but a somewhat smaller team. Neymar plays for Villarreal, also a somewhat smaller team. And Grafite plays for Wolfsburg, also not one of the biggest teams. So interestingly enough, Brazil is coming at us with a forward squad of attackers, strikers, that isn't really of the very highest level. But then again, Robinho has been excellent in the Brazilian team. Luis Fabiano has been a prolific goal scorer. They won most games in qualifying. They beat everybody in the Confederations Cup. I mean, they should be a great team. But if you ask people what's the best striker in the World Cup, I think people would, for example, rather select someone like Cristiano Ronaldo or Didier Drogba, or perhaps Fernando Torres or David Villa or Wayne Rooney above the Brazilian strikers. And that's quite unique, because usually Brazilian strikers are the best in the world. Looking at the midfield, Kaká is of course the main guy. Had a rough season at Real Madrid, but we saw in Milan that he was a world-class player. And the rest, Gilberto Silva, Elano, Felipe Melo, Julio Baptista, these are good players, But again, I mean, Gilberto Silva plays for Panathinaikos now, Elano plays for Galatasaray, Julio Baptista plays for Roma. They don't play for the best of the best teams. But I think maybe if you look at which players really play for the best teams in the world, it's the defense. 3 players played in, the goalkeeper and 2 defenders played for Inter Milan and won everything there was to win. And then Daniel Alves plays for Barcelona, who's what is usually considered the best team in the world. Yeah, that's 4 players in the best teams in the midfield, and attack somewhat less, but maybe the strength of this team is team spirit and working together as a team, and maybe they're very solid at the back. That's why they're very hard to defeat, but they're still Brazilians. I mean, Luis Fabiano and Robinho are still great strikers, you know. I mean, Brazil should win this group hands down. But perhaps Brazil is going to be a little bit more business-like than usual. Knowing Dunga, looking at the defensive quality they have, they might have a bunch of 1-0 wins here and there. But who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, they're in a tough group, but Brazil being Brazil, I expect them to go far. But I'll give you my final prediction on the games in the final prediction video. Anyway, that's it for Brazil. We'll now move on to Portugal. Thank you.